And good morning at 7:04 on this Wednesday, September 20th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Wednesday morning. We've got to the middle of the week here. We welcome you to our program. We welcome Bob McDonald to talk about Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. Good morning, Bob McDonald.
Good morning, Coleman.
Good to hear your voice.
Let me join you by phone, and let me start out by apologizing for leaving you hanging last Wednesday when I didn't have anyone participate with you. I knew that I was not going to be able to join you, but I failed to get Robert or Melinda to be with you. So my apologies for that.
Well, we talked about you. It was all good.
Yeah. But you have to talk about me because I'm paying you to, right?
Well, you got a point there. We don't say a lot of bad things about our advertisers, especially on the air.
whatever I can do to avoid being talked ill of, I'll do it.
Well, it's always there's a lot of good things to talk about. Cedarstone Bank. It's a local bank, and you in 3 of our communities, 2 of which are in Wilson County, and you've got a good track record, and you've been at the helm from the beginning, Bob. So there's a lot of good things to say.
Well, we thank you for that, and we endeavor each day to conduct ourselves in a way that people will be proud, and we take care of one another there at the bank. All the employees take care of each other, and then that helps us take care of our customers. And if we do that and take care of our communities, then we, in turn, are taking care of our shareholders. So we try to keep that approach pretty clear every day. And we, Coleman, next April, we'll be celebrating our 20th anniversary, and that's hard to believe that we've been out serving for that long, but it sure has been a joy, and we look forward to celebrating that milestone.
Well, I've always appreciated your slogan. It's just 4 words, but simple banking, simply better, and I think that describes your operation very well.
Well, it does, and when we started the bank, we wanted to keep things simple. As you've heard me say many times, banking solutions to banking opportunities can sometimes be complicated, but sometimes the issues can be complicated, but the solutions don't have to be. And so we try to keep it simple and straightforward and clear and concise, and that seems to be working out for us these last 19 and a half years.
Yeah, and with all the banking regulations, and there's been some times when things didn't go well in the banking industry, which meant the government stepped in and made it more difficult in some areas. There are a lot of things to work around to keep it simple, I think.
Well, there are, and let me kind of use that as a segue into one thing I wanted to chat about with you briefly, and I know our time's coming to a close, but I know you've got a great program coming up with my dear friend Mark Hinesley. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bob.
And I know his luncheon is today. He mentioned he's got Jeff Luttrell coming from the Wilson County Schools Director, and Jeff does a great job, and he was kind to let W.P. Bone and me come out last week and talk to his principals. He meets with them, I think, monthly. He let WP and I come out and talk about the Teacher of the Year program, and that's already underway. And we'll be doing the same thing here in the coming weeks with Brian Hutto. Always is kind to let us come speak to his principals as we kick off the new year for the new Teacher of the Year program. But I told the principals last week that what they do and what I do are very similar. I mean, we're passionate about what we do. And sometimes regulations can become a little difficult to work around, but that doesn't mean that our passion becomes for them to serve their teachers and their students and their parents, and it doesn't interrupt how we serve our customers. So Jeff does a great job. We're lucky to have leaders like Jeff in our county leading our county school system. And I look forward to hearing him today, Mark, at your luncheon.
Well, are you ready to talk about free checking?
Yes, sir. Let's wrap that up by talking about our free checking account. Coleman is completely free, and what we've seen over the summer months is we saw a lot of our customers who are parents of college-bound students come in and open up a checking account for their student, and they go off to school, and they've got their Cedar Stone ATM card or debit card, and the parents can deposit money into the account, and then the student can use that debit card for their needs when they're away at school. And so that's just one example of how that checking account can become so useful and helpful to our customers. So we invite your customers who are listening, who don't bank with us currently, to come see us. Let us talk about our Simply Free checking account and all of our other services and our fine people.
Well, absolutely, but it is more than just a free checking account. With all the perks that go with it, it's awfully hard. I think you've got to work a long day to find one better. I'm not sure you can. So if you don't have one, check it out.
Right.
Bob, thanks,
all right, my friend.
have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, my friend Mark. See you this afternoon, buddy.
For lunch.
All right. That is Bob McDonald, and that is it for Cedar Stone Bank this morning. Cedar Stone Bank of Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. We are 10:30 after the hour, and Mark Hinesley is here right to my left this morning, as per usual on this particular Wednesday of the month. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
It's nice to see you. It's just the way it is, but when it's your Wednesday to be here, I know you're going to be sitting here in that chair with your notepad in front of you, making notes of what all you want to talk about.
My mind starts Monday about, okay, what am I going to talk about this week? And then it just, I have, 23 minutes talking, 45 minutes worth of stuff to talk about. So not everything makes the cut.
But the fact is, you get here before me every time. I don't think I've ever beat you here on this particular.
You have to get here pretty early.
But good to see you. I hope things are going well.
It's fantastic. There's just enough of a chill this morning. I think it was in the 50s, if I'm not mistaken, when I left. And great drive over to the station. And you kind of know it's turning towards fall when I turn in, and your field out front is just filled with hay bales. It's just got mums and pumpkins and trick-or-treating all over it. So maybe even a little something pumpkin spice. I don't know.
Well, what's happening in Mount? Well, for those who might be listening for the first time, I hope we have new listeners from time to time.
That's what I'm here for, trying to drum up listeners, advertisers.
Everybody probably doesn't know that you are president and CEO of and CEO is Chief Encouragement Officer.
That's right.
For the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce. And come here on this third Wednesday of each month, and you've been doing this now for 2 or 3 years.
Probably at least that. I don't know if I was doing it. I guess I was doing it before COVID, too. I think the only one that I've missed that I had to call in on was last April of 22, when we were doing a membership event. I just had to be in Mount Juliet. Yeah. And then in November of 2020, when, what kept me confined for a few days, going stir crazy at home. But I think that's the only 2 times I've not been able to, I've had to call in. So I look forward to this.
Well, I always enjoy having you here. You're a very positive person, first of all. And if there's anybody, I've said this several times, you're not the only one, but there's 2 or 3 of you who really have your finger on the pulse of Wilson County, but especially you in Mount Juliet and West Wilson. So,
well, you better have, because I don't make or sell anything that anybody has to have, but the mile-long Rolodex comes in handy once in a while. So,
all right, what's on your mind?
Well, right now, at least for us, everything is pretty much for the next few days is going to be golf tournament. We only have one fundraiser a year, and it's kind of a big one. It's our golf tournament. It's on the 26th, next Tuesday, and it's been sold out for several months now anyway. So,
what a great problem.
Yeah, it is. It's our sponsorships. I mean, we're trying to figure out how to finagle it around, and we got more people that want to sponsor. Even we have 3 right now that if I can get them in there somehow, they'd like to be a sponsor as well. So
if I know you'll find a way.
Well, We'll get to a yes somehow. I don't know what it'll be. Maybe it'll be donuts or something. I don't know. But
it's great to have a fundraiser that people want to be a part of. Participate in either business-wise or playing-wise in this case.
You know, there's folks that'll go out to a golf tournament and say, this looks easy. Let's just have a golf tournament. Well, this is probably at least 30 years that I've been going to our chamber golf tournament, and we've had a couple of them at Five Oaks. We had many years where at Pine Creek, then we left and went to Wind Tree. They closed that, and we've been back at Pine Creek for a number of years. But we're going to have a morning shotgun start. It's all sold out. It helps. We have Bloody Marys and mimosas, thanks to Cedar Stone Bank. We have Chick-fil-A's bringing breakfast for us. We have free drinks all day long, and then we'll feed them lunch when we're over with. And we have several $1,000s in prize money, and we'll probably have 25 sponsors at least, maybe 30, out on the golf course. It's kind of like adult trick-or-treating. The golfers get to go around, and they have really nice stuff that they give away. And it's a fun day. It'll still probably come down to what the weather is, but I look every morning when I get up, and so far so good.
You are such a nice guy. People can't say no. We want to participate.
Oh, I don't know about that. No doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm pretty used to that, but I know you don't get what you don't ask for. So, but I do want to take a minute because I love WANT, and I know the good things it does, and I know it's worth advertiser dollars and stuff. And so, one of the benefits of being a presenting and a title sponsor is we want to do a shout out again on the radio and make sure that everybody that's listening knows that our title sponsor is Birthright Title, and they've been the title sponsor now at least 3 years in a row. And then we have 10 presenting sponsors, and these folks pay a lot of money, and we're very grateful. But we have Civil Site Design Group, Extension HR, First Bank, Hudson Pillar Insurance, Katz, Binkley, Jones & Morris, the architect firm. A lot of folks know about them. Moxie Pest Control, Pinnacle Financial Partners, Stewart Title. I think Tracy and her team have been sponsors well over 20 years now, I'm sure. Wilson Bank, the same thing, and the Wilson County Convention and Visitors Bureau. And then we have Big Star Cigar and Barbara Bell, our hometown hero realtor. They're sponsoring our carts. So we really couldn't do it without them. And when I say that, I mean we really couldn't do it without them. So the price of golf is going up. The price of food's going up. The price of signs, everything's going up, and these folks make it possible. So we appreciate that.
Hope you have a great one.
I can't wait. 82 degrees with a gentle breeze blowing in from the southwest, and we'll be just fine.
All right.
Break.
Time for us to take a break. This is Coleman Company, FM 98.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford. Get that regular oil change, $39.95, up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Trying to ditch that wreck at the intersection of Chestnut and 8th. It's heavy where you would expect this time of the morning. 65 south, trying to get past Trinity Lane as you come down from the north. Holding up right now through the Mount Juliet area. It's just really heavy on I-40 coming through Hermitage. Also on 24 westbound, passing Bell Road. All the heavy traffic making its way in from Murfreesboro. Princess Hot Chicken is hiring. Soon they'll have 4 locations open up. Check out that website today. You can order online at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is State Representative Clark Boyd. I just wanted to wish WANT 98.9 a happy 30th anniversary.
Hi, this is Cindy Ahola with the Wilco Powwow. We want to wish WANT 98.9 a happy 30th anniversary.
Hi, this is Jason Lawson, your District Attorney General. I just want to wish WANT a wonderful 30th birthday and thank them for all of their contributions to our community and keeping everyone informed on what's going on in Wilson County.
I'm Michael Starr, a licensed local insurance agent with Health Markets Insurance Agency in Lebanon, Tennessee. Choosing the right Medicare plan for you can be confusing. Let me help you find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. Call 615-830-4875 to speak with a licensed insurance agent for a free appointment, virtually, by phone, or in person, to review your specific needs and help find a plan that's right for you. Health Markets Insurance Agency Incorporated is licensed in all states and D.C. Service and product availability varies. Agents may be compensated based on enrollment. No obligation to enroll.
Coleman Company here on a Wednesday morning. Mark Ainsley is with us. Mark is President, CEO. That is correct.
You got it. That's right.
All right. I'd love to.
Today it'll be truck loader, bathroom cleaner, table washer, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
You got that right. So.
But he comes here once a month and represents the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce and lets us know a lot of things we wouldn't really know otherwise, I think. And every once in a while you get on the soapbox you always on the soapbox shop locally, though.
Well, I try to. That's what pays a lot of our bills. And when I say our, I mean 150,000 people living in Wilson County all benefit from sales tax. Mount Juliet sales tax continues to keep pace ahead of where we were last year, the same month, and always kind of wait till the 17th, 18th in the month or something to see if what the sales tax collections are. We've had a year to date, we have 137 new business licenses at the end of August, so that's tracking fairly well. And we hit a organizational milestone last Wednesday. I guess last Wednesday morning, middle of the morning, we got our 100th new investor for the year. So we're doing pretty well. We still have 4 months to go. So that's looking pretty good. September the 8th was the last day for Elena Brown. She's worked at the chamber for a couple of years, and she's starting a family. Her husband, Tyler, is with WEMA and in school right now, I guess, to be an EMT. So great family, great support group, but she's going to start a family. And Keisha Grace started on Friday, September 1st to help us with the transition. And I don't give Michelle Shoemake in the office and my staff enough credit. I promise you I wouldn't be sitting over here if I had to worry about how the place was going to get opened up or whatever. And usually I just go in the morning and check, make sure everything's all right with those two, and then I'm good for the day. So but they work incredibly hard for us, and they love our customers. And probably more important than that is they love their community too. So that makes it easy.
But you are out and about in Mount Juliet. The people, the business community especially, knows who Mark Hines is.
It's kind of hard to solve too many problems or see firsthand what folks are going through or how to help. If somebody has a question about something, I'd like to go out and if they say, can we meet? I said, yeah, how about at your place? Because they can come to the chamber anytime. But I love getting out and seeing our businesses, whether it's going to see the new apartments in Enclave and BJ's yesterday, or who knows where I'll be at today getting ready for the golf tournament. But no, I'm not going to make much of an impression for the chamber sitting behind my desk anywhere. So rather get out and go. There'll be one of these days I may be forced to stay in my office. They may have to wheel me in the morning and wheel me out at night and come and visit. But till that day comes, I want to put some miles on the truck.
Okay, you got it. All right.
Hey, I got something I was listening to the other day, and I have Ken Beck's book. I think it's called Terrific Tennessee or whatever. And there's a number of things in there. Kind of maybe one of these days we'll do Mark's Moment or something, and we'll talk about something that people might be interested in. But Cumberland University, there's dabs of that through his book and some of the really interesting things about Cumberland that have happened at Cumberland, the people from Cumberland. But I was listening to your show the other day, and goodness gracious, I mean, a few weeks ago they had the ribbon cutting or big event for their athletic program out on the football field. Dr. Stump sent me a note, and others, I'm sure, over 3,000 students in this year's class. Rusty Richardson, I'm pretty convinced there's about 6 of him because he's everywhere. But I got their information about the Pablo Escobar thing. The 2 detectives that got him, and they're having an event or something all open to the community. And then I believe they even have another music event, if I'm not mistaken. And so I guess they've been around, 185 years or something like that?
I should know, but I don't.
It's something crazy like that, but they're doing an outstanding job. And I think something that really caught my ear was when I believe it was Rusty talking about the athletic director, Mr. Pavin, really won Pavin or Pavin? Ron. Yeah, having their student athletes, and doing the student part first and out helping. And I think they were going to be helping at Sherry's Run or something, but all the community events that they do, I think that's fantastic. I also want to put a plug in. I know she's been out here many times. She's synonymous with Wilson Rides, and I spend a reasonable amount of time with Gailey, and our paths cross several times a day on average. But if I'm not mistaken, and I don't think I'm breaking any news, but congratulations, I think they finally reached their 1,000th license plate, which if they didn't get 1,999 wasn't going to make it, but I believe they've got that, and that will be revenue coming in for tourism, for Wilson Rides for many, many years to come. So to everybody that bought a Wilson County Wilson Rides license plate, thank you very much. It's going to make a difference for a long time, and I see it firsthand. I get a lot of pleasure out helping give a ride now and then when my schedule will allow.
Yeah,
and
when you say firsthand, you were the first to do that.
Yeah, well, that's kind of, I guess so. But
I'm not going to let you
I guess it shows up in the picture, but they needed somebody to kick things off. But I know Miss Gloria personally, but.
And you were mentioning Cumberland. I was just going to say, Dr. Stum listens most days, and of course he and you are both guest hosts when I'm out of town, and we'll be coming up before long. But if I were Dr. Stum, I would listen too, because and I would probably grade the program on how many times Cumberland is.
That might be right.
And I don't think a week goes by, and a lot of times not even a day goes by that Cumberland didn't mention.
Well, you know, it's and I know one of the things, and I know he's in his team. You know, they want to be a Wilson County school. It's in Lebanon, and it's been here forever, but they're working really hard, and it's noticed. Courtney Wheeler is she's going to be our president of our local Mount Juliet Breakfast Rotary Club, and Katie Wolf, she's involved with she's chairing our Leading Women, so it's making a difference, and they're putting people in the right place, I think, to maybe broaden the reach of awareness or whatever, and those two ladies are doing a fantastic job. I don't think you could ask any more of them, so I just think it makes a difference. You know, Wilson County, I don't even think Williamson County has a 4-year college, if I'm not mistaken. I know they don't have an airport, and they don't have a Music City or a We Go Star, so they might have some stuff, but and we got the Cumberland River with endless water, and they're on the Harpeth River, so we're one of these days, look out, Williamson County. So, and I'll mention one other thing real quick. Bob McDonald mentioned our monthly luncheon today, and Dr. Luttrell, you know, he's one of those guys that it doesn't take him too long to figure out if it's good for the kids, if it's good for the teachers and the parents, he'll find a way to say yes. He doesn't start off with, no, we can't do that. And it's when Bob was talking about, you know, him opening his arms to letting Bob and WP come in and talk. Another way that Cumberland is, you know, they're going to be, I'm sure it'll be at Baird Chapel again and all of that. But Jeff has, you know, they've had some issues. Most of us would not make it a day in education. And I think not only that, but I think they're improving in where they needed to, whether it's number of faculty, bus drivers, things like that. Their communication coming out of the central office is better than anything. I mean, it's just exceptional. And I think their transparency, and I know how easy it is to work with the We Love Our Teachers campaign, and they make it real easy, and I think we owe them all the support we can.
Well, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, something else that people have to sometimes battle, endure, put up with, whatever. People can get on social media, Facebook in particular, and say just about anything they want to, and there's an awful lot of negative
oh yeah, there is
there that and sometimes things are exaggerated and the truth isn't told, but
well, wouldn't you know that
if it's there, we believe it.
You know, wouldn't you know that our county mayor looked in his crystal ball and saw that exact same thing, and what came out of that but Wilson County kind? I don't know if you've heard about that or not, and I can't remember. I know I'm out of the office with golf stuff on Thursday and Friday, and it was either Thursday or Friday. I think it's tomorrow that they're having their kickoff. Now, how many other counties in Wilson County have Wilson County kind? You know, and you just take Wilson Rides, Drug-Free Wilco. You know, it's just the list just goes on and on. You got everyone's Wilson. You had TN Community with, you know, nearly a dozen bankers all getting together. They're meeting again on Friday. They're one of the major sponsors, if I'm not mistaken, of Wilson County Kind. So there's just so many people pulling the wagon in the same direction in Wilson County. We'll have our little differences, but, I mean, I don't even agree with myself half the time, so I don't know how that could be any different. But, no, we're very fortunate, and I'm glad I get to do this, and we have a lot of new people moving in here. Some keep track of it, by the day, how many folks, and there's a lot. And if they're just tuning in, they picked a good place, and we're glad they're here.
Yeah, and speaking of people moving in, I mean, we are both, Lebanon and Mount Juliet, not satisfied with the census results of 2020. So I think another count is in the works.
Well, I'm sure it costs money. I don't know. I've never paid the bill for a census, but you're not going to have that show the census with that many more people to pay for that. So anything above that is gravy. So I applaud them for doing it with the growth that's coming in here. I don't think it's not a political thing. It's, hey, folks cost money. I mean, we don't need more than what we're supposed to be getting, but I think it's a responsible thing to do to at least get what we have coming to us. So I appreciate what they're doing, and I look forward to helping them with the census as well.
Can you believe it's 7:30?
This is as fast as I can talk. You don't mind? I'm going to take a breath. Those of you that are not listening, Coleman here to my right, had a great time, and I'll be back in a couple of weeks.
All right. That is Mark Hinesley in part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll stay with us for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot. Write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still crowded right now on 24 westbound at Mike Bell Road, Hickory Hollow Parkway, coming in from Rutherford County. Just a normal buildup at the moment. Now it's already heavy trying to get out of Clarksville on 24 going eastbound, headed towards Nashville. Coming down 65 through Sumner County, Robertson County. That looks pretty good right now through Millersville. Hey, bring the entire family and enjoy Smoky Mountain Fall Festival at Ober-Gatlinburg this year, September 29th. Check it out at obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedarstone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment for the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedarstone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane and Crowell. At the offices of Kane and Crowell, our team of experienced attorneys is here to guide you through every step of the process. With a proven track record of success and a commitment to our clients and our community, look no further than the team at Kane and Crowell to fight for your rights and provide representation you deserve. 615-784-4800.
Lauren Massetti here, singer-songwriter from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm so excited to be a part of the second annual Sips and Sounds of September on September 28th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Rural Hill Farm in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. I hope you'll join us for great food, great sips, and great sounds. All proceeds will benefit Wilson Rides, a local nonprofit organization that provides transportation for senior citizens who no longer drive. Tickets are on sale right now at eventbrite.com or wilsonridesinc.org.
More sunshine continues to be a part of the forecast for today, warming up to a high of around 83 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies tonight. We'll see that low of around 60, partly sunny, and 84 for your Thursday. More sunshine for Friday. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction of real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com where they know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm Stormy Clausen.
continue. Welcome to part 2 of Coleman & Company. It is a Wednesday, and now we welcome our Wednesday advertiser, Kane & Crowell PLLC. Angel Kane is with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It is always good to see one of you people with us, and there are several of you that are kind of in a rotation here. Angel Kane, Amanda Crowell, Mary Alice Carfey, Kayla Costley, Bryson Eubanks, who was here last week, and Lindsey Johnson.
Yep, so, and today's my turn.
You've got a big team.
We do, yes.
And, of course, located at 133 South College Street. It's the gray Victorian house built in the 1800s. And we've talked about your history a little bit, and you and Amanda have been friends for a long time, and you're business partners.
Yes,
now. And I don't know all the parts of this, but we know we have all these players here, these attorneys we just mentioned.
Yeah. So Amanda and I, just a little story. Amanda and Chris were our first friends that we made when we moved to Lebanon. That's how long we've known each other. Probably 25 years now, because we've been living in Lebanon 25 years. And so when I moved to Memphis, my uncle knew Chris's mom and dad and called Miss Crowell and said, my niece is moving to Lebanon. And so she introduced us, and then the rest is history, as they say. Yeah.
Well, you got any particular thing you want to talk about?
Well, I'll tell you, we're real busy this week. One of the things that we do, especially in the elder law part of our law firm, is we go out and talk to groups. So today, for instance, Bryson and Miriam will be heading out to Del Webb, and they've got a seminar that they're putting out. In 2 weeks or 3 weeks or so, I'll be at the Lebanon Senior Center. So Bryson and I and Kayla often go out and talk to different civic groups about elder law, wills, estates, conservatorships. So that's something I'd like to share. If anybody ever wants us to come out to speak to different groups, we're always happy to do that.
Yeah, that's kind of his specialty, and he was here last week talking about that.
Right.
And it is amazing, maybe even amusing a little bit how much people of that age, elder, don't know things that they really should.
Oh, sure.
And wait till the last minute to get it done. That was kind of the gist of what he said last week.
Right. Yeah, and I understandably so. You know, no one wants to think about those things, but you certainly need to. And
it's easy to put it off, too.
Right. I mean, I always talk about my own parents. You know, their will was free, and it still took them a while to have me do it. So, I mean, they just don't, nobody wants to think about that. But it's certainly something that you should think about, wills, trusts, power of attorneys. Those are things that a lot of times people call us in crisis. If you call us when your mom is already at the hospital and say you need a power of attorney, oftentimes when we go out there, it's too late. If she doesn't understand what she's signing, we can't allow her to sign it. And so that's why it's so important to think ahead. And I will say the fall is a great time to do so. We have so many appointments right now because it's a quiet time. Summer's over, the holidays haven't quite started, so people are thinking about like getting important documents prepared, and that's what we're doing right now.
Well, of course, you're big in family law, and that involves divorce, child support, child custody, adoptions.
Right, and that never stops. That's every single moment of the day. We're getting phone calls about that.
Do you have one part of this that you enjoy the most?
I honestly like doing both. It's probably one of the reasons I do both areas of the law. I really enjoy advocating for our domestic clients, divorce, custody. That's something I've done for 28 years now. But I also really enjoy estate planning. I think it's important, and it's a nice mix. I can go from 2 days of court where it's just been maybe harsh, and then 2 days of meeting with people and talking to them. Bryce and I are big talkers, so we like sitting and talking and hearing everyone's stories and then working with them to figure out what they need in estate planning.
Really, in either situation here, you're helping people.
Sure.
The divorce thing and all of that can be, unfortunate we say it's not something we like to think about, maybe, but something has to be done.
Right.
And you're there to help.
Right, yeah. I mean, and that's one of the reasons, maybe I didn't know it at the time I went to law school, but it's certainly the reason that I've stuck with it so long. I really like advocating for people. I like helping them. I like showing them what their options are and then helping them decide what they need to do. So absolutely.
Well, we might mention your phone number quickly here, 615-784-4800. That's an easy phone number,
Yep.
784-4800. And that website is www.kane-law.com, and I'll bet a lot of people check you out there.
They do. We get a lot of website traffic, lots and lots of phone calls, and we're always happy to talk to people and have them come in for appointments and discuss their needs with them.
All right. Well, anything else before you go?
No.
All right. Well, it's always good to see you. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate y'all spending this time with us every Wednesday.
Thank you. Always enjoy coming out here.
All right. Well, that is Angel Kane, and that's it for Kane and Crowell, PLLC, 133 South College Street in Lebanon, the Gray Victorian house built in the 1800s. We are 21 minutes before the hour. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell joins us this morning. He is right here, always on time, always with a smile on his face when I introduce him, at least.
That's right.
Good morning.
I'm always happy to be here. Good morning, Coleman.
And we're happy to have you. Yesterday, it was Mike Jennings, Mayor of Watertown, our county attorney, and you're here today, and two of the biggest UT fans, along with maybe Larry Tomlinson.
That's right.
And you kind of took it on the chin the other day, but it's one of them things.
Well, we did, and I can tell you, for me, it was not.
And of course, it made MJ have a happy week.
It did, and she has on her Gator shirt today just for me. She told me she hasn't worn it yet this week, and she waited till today.
I think today's first day
I appreciate that. But, I watched it with my dad Saturday night, and honestly, both of us sort of expected it, what happened, because, I'm a historian, and the history of the series is that when these two teams play, Tennessee plays its worst and Florida plays its best. So, until that trend stops, that's what I'm going to believe happens every year.
Well, obviously Tennessee didn't have a good game. I saw the second half, most of it, and it just wasn't what was expected. I mean, here you were in number 11 at one time,
something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, and then but I think the best is yet to come.
I think so. If you look at the season coming up, the games ahead, I was texting with people during the game, and we have some tough games coming up. This weekend is UT San Antonio, which obviously is a game that Tennessee should win. Yeah. After that, they play at home against South Carolina and Texas A&M, and then they go to Alabama. So I really expect these next 3 weeks to be wins. They're at home. One of the things I've noticed is that the past 3 games that Tennessee has gone into a hostile environment on the road, they've lost. That was, of course, Florida, and then last year against South Carolina and Georgia. So, that seems to be a trend that's developing a little bit. But, hey, it's a long season. We'll see how it goes.
All right. What's happening with the city?
Oh, we did have a meeting last night, and honestly, the agenda was pretty short. We had a really long agenda the time before, and so I think the councilors appreciated that this one didn't have as many decisions for them to make, but there were some important things that happened last night. One thing I want to say is that I presented the proclamation for Constitution Week. Mary Margaret Ferris with the Dollars American Revolution, she came out, and we do this every year.
Yeah, that's been going. We used to do some public service announcements about that, and she was usually the contact for that. I don't think we've done that lately, but MJ handles most of that, and sometimes I get a little bit of it here. But the Constitution is such an important thing.
It is. Of course, it's the foundation of everything we have here, and the country was founded in 1776, but the Constitution did not come around until 1787. So there's a time span in there where we had a government that was not the one we have now. Obviously, it didn't work. They changed it. But the Constitution obviously is important. That's what everything is based on. And
what was it? Articles of Confederation?
Articles of Confederation, yeah.
For the first few years.
Yeah. And I've taught about the Articles of Confederation I talked about that for 20 years, and I can tell you it's an interesting time in our history. We'll get into that one day, but the proclamation is something we do every year. But this time, Mary Margaret and I talked and said, "Hey, let's do it at the city council meeting," and so we did it that way.
Well, good.
Yeah. Now, last night though, there were some important things that the council voted on. We've talked about the Parks and Rec Master Plan a lot. Last night was the first reading, and they approved that unanimously. And so we'll have a second reading in 2 weeks. And really what the Parks and Rec Master Plan does is it provides us a document so we can go out and get grants for our Parks and Rec department as far as like for greenways or, for our athletic fields. It just gives us opportunity to get some monies that we can't right
Where
now.
do these grants primarily come from?
Most of them come from the state.
Okay.
And so there's
Are
money.
they easier to get than federal grants?
They are.
Yeah.
They are. But the key is you have to have a master plan in order to qualify.
Okay.
And it's something we've never had. So it's an important document for that. And it's also an important document. So, and as I've said before, for the city as we go into the future to have a map to go by as we create more greenways and parks and as our Parks and Rec department grows, this provides us a blueprint of how to do that. So it's really a twofold document. But again, last night it was first reading, so I was glad to get that in front of the city council and them to pass it.
Anything really controversial about that?
It's not. Everybody loves parks and greenways and things like this. It's something.
But it's more a master plan, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's a plan. I mean, and there's nothing in the document that says we're going to go out and build things tomorrow. It's just a map for the future.
Yeah.
And as the city goes through the future years, whether it's while we are still in office or maybe even past that, this is something that the city can always go by and say, hey, here's a plan, and as we want to grow our parks and recreation, let's follow the plan.
And if you can get some grants, probably you're going to achieve your goal sooner than otherwise. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, obviously, money's coming from the state. Those are tax dollars, too. That is true. But the state is going to provide those grants to somebody. And I believe they should spend some of that money here in Lebanon, and we should go out and try to get it.
You got a good grant writer?
We do have. Now, we did have a grant writer. He picked a job somewhere else, so he's left us. But we have people in different departments who are great at writing grants. They do it all the time. We write TDOT grants up in engineering constantly. And so this is something that we have people on staff who know how to do this.
Okay, we're actually maybe a minute or so past time for a break, so let's take it right here. 11th Mayor Rick Bell and I will continue in a moment here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways thanks to Bates Ford. Low price tire guarantee on all tires every day. Up to 30 days after the sale, there'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Some slow traffic on 65 southbound, trying to get past Trinity Lane, working your way down from the north. Heavy traffic continues to come in right now from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County on 24 westbound up through the Hickory Hollow area. I see heavy traffic now coming in from Wilson County, also on 40 westbound, trying to get through Hermitage, passing Central Pine. Hey, bring the whole family to Smoky Mountain Fall Festival at Ober-Gatlinburg, September 29th. Check it out at obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
This is Ward 4 City Councilman Chris Crowell. I just want to wish WANT and WCOR a happy 30th anniversary. We love you.
This is Gail Hibbert from the Farm Bureau Expo, and I would like to say happy anniversary to WANT FM 98.9.
This is Uncle Pete with the Veterans of Wilson County, wishing WANT a happy 30th year of broadcasting.
Hi, this is Judge Inslee Hagan, wishing WANT a happy 30th anniversary.
I'm Michael Starr, a licensed local insurance agent with Health Markets Insurance Agency in Lebanon, Tennessee. Choosing the right Medicare plan for you can be confusing. Let me help you find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. Call 615-830-4875 to speak with a licensed insurance agent for a free appointment, virtually, by phone, or in person, to review your specific needs and help find a plan that's right for you. Health Markets Insurance Agency Incorporated is licensed in all states and D.C. Service and product availability varies. Agents may be compensated based on enrollment. No obligation to enroll.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Our final segment here for a Wednesday morning. And 11 Mayor Rick Bell and I really just got started here. But let's see. Last night you did the resolution.
Constitution.
Constitution Week. Yep. You passed this master recreation plan unanimously, which gives us a roadmap, if you will, for the future in recreation and get more grants. And I think that's about where we quit.
It is, and there was one other thing on the agenda last night that's really important. Something that Fire Chief Jason Baird and I have been talking about for the past couple of weeks, and we decided to push this forward. But construction fires, obviously we have a lot of construction, different developments around town, and when they're clearing the land, knock down trees, typically what's happened in our city is that they'll pile the trees up, burn them to get rid of them. And that is really becoming an issue. It's become an issue for the neighbors that live around it. Even if they follow the rules, which most people do, there's still the smell of smoke. There's still ash that gets on people's cars. It just causes a lot of problems. So Jason and I sat down, and he said that the fire department is really spending too much time on this. And people have to pay a fee and everything, but they're spending too much time on this. This is causing too much trouble for the neighbors. So last night, on first reading, the city council passed that we will no longer allow those types of fires in the city of Lebanon. So a construction site that piles up trees or wood, they can't burn them anymore. They're going to have to mulch them, and they're going to have to haul the mulch off. So again, this is something that's really hit us pretty hard recently in different parts of town, and we just feel like this is the best way to go forward, and the city council approved that last night.
Was that a unanimous vote?
It was unanimous. It'll take a second reading, so it's not official yet, but I know it'll pass unanimously again. And
well, I'm just wondering from the other side's viewpoint here is I would think it's going to cost them more because they're going to try to do things the cheapest way they can.
Absolutely.
And burning has probably been the cheapest way.
It is, and it's something that's been going on for years. But we just feel like it's time to make a change, and something else too. Yes, it'll cost developers more, but one of the things I talked to Jason about is if they know it ahead of time, that they can put in their budget, and I think that's really key. What I don't want to do is surprise people on the back end and give them a cost that they didn't expect on the front end. But if we tell them up front, look, this is what it's going to be, so plan for it, budget for it, then I'm okay with it. And
is there a good thing at the end here? This mulch. I mean, is that even possible? They could sell that, or
I'm sure they could. We haven't discussed that part of it, but I'm mulch is useful, so it's probably something they could sell, or maybe they could use it themselves. But the concept of the smell and the ash and the smoke, it's really getting too much. And the other night out on Crowell Lane, there was a fire that was left smoldering, and sometime during the night it caught some of the trees ran on fire, and the fire department had to go out, and a lot of the neighbors were really concerned, rightfully so. But we were already talking about this before that happened. And so I'm glad the city council approved that last night. Since I've been in office, we have put a lot of limitations on developers. We passed a lot of rules, and I've gone over them before out here. But this is one where, we know construction is going to happen. And this is something where we can help the people around that construction not feel the effects as much as they have been.
Well, most of the incorporation of the city of Lebanon is urban area.
It is.
Not all, but for the most part. And so this applies in the city, within the city limits. It has nothing to do with Wilson.
No, it's in the city limits.
Right.
And really it happens on the outskirts. If you go downtown, obviously that's built. But if you're on the outskirts where new subdivisions are going in, that's really where this is happening. And so,
that's usually adjacent to another.
It is next to somebody. That is true. Now, I want to say this too. They're like if somebody's raking their leaves in the yard and they want to burn their leaves, this does not affect that. And if there's an emergency, like we had the tornadoes come through in 2020, and there's a lot of trees down, then in that situation, then they can be burned. But this is typical development construction type burning.
I suppose it'd have to get permission, though, even in an emergency situation.
Yeah, there'd be some steps you'd have to follow.
The fire chief needs to know.
The fire chief needs to know. He always needs to know.
All right, that enough on that?
It is, and so that was really what we voted on last night. But there are some things I want to talk about.
All right.
If you go down to the square today, you'll see our teams out in the creek, clean out the creek, just south of the square. One of the things that I talked about when I first became mayor, there was a flood, that we need to take as many steps as possible to prevent flooding. And one of those is go in there on a consistent basis and cut back the vegetation, get any trash or anything that's collected in the creek. And obviously do that when it's dry, and right now it's dry. So they're going to go in starting this morning and start that process in anticipation for the spring that's coming up. So I think those guys are doing that. If you're in town today, you'll see them down there, and that's really what they're doing, is preparing for what might come in the spring.
How big an area are you talking about?
They really start right there just south of the square, right there by the big parking lot, and then go down 231 south, maybe down to where the old warehouses were, through that area, and on out. I'm not sure really how far they're going to go, but wherever there's vegetation, they're going to get it. Yeah.
Well, that leaves a little bit more room for the water.
It does. That's the whole point. And in conjunction with that too, we've talked about the new parking lot by the square, and we've talked about the sports complex down south of town, and that's really where the water comes from, is out in that area. So in constructing those two things, we have, for lack of a better term, supersized our water retention in those two areas to really help as much as we can to hold back water, to keep it from going into the square that very quickly. So there's different things we're doing to help as much as we can.
Well, I think it's obvious. We're down in a bowl in Lebanon, and if it comes a big enough rain, we're going to have flooding. That's obvious. But there are some things we can do to minimize.
Absolutely.
The smaller ones maybe won't be a problem that have been.
Well, and I just didn't want to sit back and say, well, the square is always flooded, so there's nothing we can do. There are things we can do to help. Now, if it comes a big enough rain, will it stop it? Probably not, but we can help. And so if there's a rain that is probably just on the edge of maybe flooding, maybe we can stop that from happening.
Well, if you can hold the water on the square to 6 inches where it would have been 12 before, or 8 or whatever, that's a big help.
That's an improvement. It really is.
Okay.
Yeah, and it does keep some buildings from being affected.
Okay, we got about 4 minutes left this morning. What else is on your mind?
A couple things. Of course, last week was 9/11, and I heard you and Mayor Jennings yesterday. I was honored to speak at his annual 9/11 remembrance ceremony. I really appreciate him asking me to do that, and it was a big crowd, and that was it was a really good day, and I enjoyed that. Of course, my dad's from Watertown, so I saw a lot of his old friends up there. A lot of people came to me afterwards. So I played football with your dad, so that was a good day. And that morning too, the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce, Melanie and her team, they held a breakfast for first responders here in town, and so I was able to speak at that and attend, and that was really a great morning as well.
Well, this is sort of a way to show appreciation to them, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know about honor, but at least show appreciation for what they do. And sometimes they are, it's kind of taken for granted that they're going to be there in these bad situations, but it's nice to have them, and I'm glad somebody's showing some appreciation.
Well, and as I said at both gatherings, first responders and people in the military as well, when they sign up, they're signing up to risk their lives.
Yeah.
And it may not happen every day, but that day could come. And that takes a lot of bravery, it takes courage,
it happened in
that day.
2001 that day.
It sure did.
And that's there's just horror stories all over the place about that. Well, anyway, good to show appreciation.
One other thing I would like to talk about is that we announced last week that we're getting another Starbucks on the west side of town. They turned their site plan in last week, and several years ago, before I was mayor, there was Starbucks was supposed to go in where Thornton's is now, right there by Carver Lane, and the development did not get passed, so it did not get approved. So So we've been working hard to try to recreate that, make that happen again. And so the site plan has been turned in, and we're going to get that through the approval process, and hopefully they'll be constructing soon.
You ready to reveal the location?
Yes, it'll be right next to Dairy Queen. So if you're looking at Dairy Queen from the road, it'll be to the left, and so it'll sit there, and it's a freestanding. The plan shows a freestanding Starbucks with a drive-through and all that. So again, they turned the site plan in. We're going to put it through the process, and hopefully we'll get it built pretty quickly.
You got any other secrets to reveal this morning?
I don't have any secrets to reveal. There's been a lot of events and a lot of things happening out there. Linda Robertson, we honored her this week over at the garden by the Senior Citizen Center. There's a sign up there with her name on it, and she planted some native plants out there, and so she's part of the Master Gardeners, and that was really neat. She was surprised, and it was really neat to see her.
Well,
some
of those kind of things are what makes it nice to be mayor, to have a part in honoring some people and doing some things that wouldn't be noticed or appreciated otherwise.
It's fun, and and as I told them that day, her and the Master Gardeners, they did all the work, and she should be honored because she's been doing that for a long time.
Well, Mayor, thanks for being with us this morning. We have come to the end of our time, but another good report, and you'll be back in 2 weeks.
I'll be back.
All right. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, and that's it for a Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. Hope you'll join us tomorrow. Until then, I wish you a wonderful day.